If you've ever asked yourself, how can I get the swing and the golf game that I've always imagined without trying every tip, every training aid, watching every video after video on social media, then this podcast is for you. Welcome. I'm Daniel Guest, and welcome to the Imagen Golf Podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Imagen Golf and PXG. All right, today is 4-Minute Friday, where, you know what that means? 4 left. I'm actually pulling the ball just a little bit, which is not a bad thing. I'd much rather be pulling the ball than pushing the ball. But this is where we give you a tip, a tool, a strategy, something you could take to the course right here, right now, without changing really anything in your swing or mechanically anyway. And we do that in 4 minutes or less, starting now. So today's topic is a good one. It's easy for me to say since I think they're all good, but it's in your backswing, and it's called the golf backswing, the power of light, Light. So, you might be driving to the course, or you're stuck in traffic, or, I don't know what you're doing, quite frankly. But look, there is a silent killer, right? Well, let's back up. If I could show you something so simple that would eliminate this silent killer of power for so many of you out there, right? Would you be interested? And of course, that answer is yes, right? It is something so simple, you're going to wonder why someone hasn't told me it earlier, or maybe you were told it and you just haven't, brought it back to light, if you would, see what I did there. But what am I talking about, Daniel? Well, I'm talking about your knees. Specifically, I'm talking about seeing the light between them. All right. So let's dive in. I was looking at some swing analysis, like videos. People send us lots of videos. We're doing more and more virtual stuff than ever before, and I love it, right? But I'm looking at some swing analysis over the weekend, or over the week, I should say, into the weekend. And there was a distinct pattern from at least 10 or 12 of these in a row. And ironically enough, the comments from the students were the same too. Loss of power, loss of distance, feels different, feel like I'm all hands or whatever. And sure enough, the pattern was evident. I mean, when you looked at the videos, it was simple. The student was, some of them were turning, some of them weren't turning at all. Some of them were turning, but none of them were rotating, right? And when you're not rotating, it's a classic lack of, I'm doing air quotes here, power leak, right? We all know, everyone knows in a golf swing, we have to rotate. We hear it all the time. Turn your hips, load into the right side, coil, turn, transfer your weight. You get the point, right? But here's the problem. Most golfers, when they try to turn, they actually slide, right? They don't really rotate. They actually slide. Or even worse than that, they do the opposite. They collapse, right? So imagine looking at a golfer from face on, right? You're looking right at their belt buckle. When they take the club back, if that lead knee, all right, the left knee for you right-handed golfers, collapses and touches the right knee, what happens? Well, you've lost your base, right? There's no tension in the golf swing. So with no tension, no base, guess what you have? You have no torque, right? And as we had one of my coaches early in my career in high school used to say, you're just soft. The swing is soft, right? So on the flip side, though, if you keep, right, those knees, all right, if you keep those legs, I should say, and you keep those knees frozen, like they were. I was searching for a word. I was stuttering there for a while. But if you keep those knees frozen, if you would, for lack of a better term, like two pillars of cement, right? You can't turn at all, right? Or if you're so nervous that, I'm going to be off balance, let's say, right? And you keep those feet planted in the ground like you're getting ready to tackle somebody in football, for God's sake, right? Then you can't turn otherwise, right? So the visual that I want you to envision is this window of light, all right? And here's how I want you to imagine that today. See what I did there? Imagine, right? When you make a proper backswing, a true rotation around your spine, your lead knee moves inward and points toward the golf ball. your trail leg straightens just a bit, but stays flexed. We're not looking to get your trail leg. And if you do this correctly, when you look from face on, right, there should be a distinct gap of light between your knees. And I know what you're saying, Daniel. Why does that matter? What is it that makes the light so powerful? Well, it simply proves that you are not swaying, right? And you are in fact rotating. If you sway to the right, sliding your hips, your knee often stays in the same your knees stay the same distance apart. But the whole structure itself, or this whole swing itself, shifts. When that happens, you haven't created any power. You just moved your zip code, right? Let's say, all right, as another coach used to say. But when you rotate, that lead knee works away from the target. It creates a dynamic angle, and that light between the knees tells me that your hips have turned deeper, but your feet are still grounded. It also prevents that knee kiss, I'm doing air quotes, knee kiss. I see a lot of this with senior or seasoned, as we like to say at Imagen golfers, right? Are people that are trying to get in air quotes again, a longer backswing. They let that left knee collapse all the way till it touches the right knee. If your knees are touching or kissing, you are in big trouble because there is zero torque there. You have zero resistance. And because of that, it's an entire upper body swing. You can't fire anything from that position. You have to replant the heel, shift the weight, and then turn. And it takes too much time and effort, and it's just not going to work. All right. So keeping that daylight between your knees means you have maintained width in your lower body. All right. This creates torque, right? Torque, think of it this way. A rubber band. If you shoot it too far, you have to pull back to shoot it far, I should say. You have to pull back one end while holding the other end stable. That is that space between your knees, that tension that's in the rubber band. If that space disappears, the rubber band goes slack. If the space doesn't change between your knees, there is no turn. You've never stretched a rubber band and you've never turned your knees, if you would. So that's it, all right? It's really that simple, all right? If you want to do a couple drills, I'm going to put them in the bottom or in the notes, if you would. The one is called the flashlight drill. I think there's another one we're going to put down there. I forget the actual name of it. It's the window of power. We actually put together a practice plan for you, but it includes a bucket drill that's, as old as time, but absolutely works. And I think there's a wall drill in there as well. So we give you 3 different drills kind of attached to the podcast. So there you have it. There you are. I really appreciate you listening. We have recently had over 100,000 downloads of these podcasts. So please hit the like button and follow button wherever you get your podcasts. And here's to getting you the swing and the game that you've always imagined. Hey guys, it's Daniel here. Hey, thanks for listening first and foremost. Handicaps haven't changed in over 35 years for one reason and one reason only. Traditional golf instruction just doesn't work. So if you're serious about getting that swing and game that you've always imagined, take a look at our site, imagengolf.com. Join our members-only club. Check out my video series, or even take a virtual or in-person lesson with me. There is no one who's more passionate about making you better in the industry, and I guarantee you'll golf better, guaranteed, or everything is free.